they call it that old Mountain Dew. And those who refuse it are few. While I know I've done wrong, the temptation is strong.
Bascom Lamar Lunsford, a lawyer from Mars Hill, North Carolina, wrote the 1928 version of Good Old Mountain Dew. Lunsford's source material for the song came from a moonshiner he got off on a case by getting the man to bring the judge a sample of his moonshine.
Was down with the flu, and he thought that on a desert get him a corn of good old Mountain Dew.
There's a big holly tree down the road here from me, where you lay down $1 or two.
The 1935 version of the song doesn't tell a story, but instead describes an old hollow tree that's used as a dead drop for buying moonshine. This version has been widely covered and has entered into the folk tradition, becoming a standard.
I'll get up my mug, get to fill up my jug with some good old Mountain Dew.
Some bright morning when this life is over, I'll fly away.
It was in 1929 that Brumley composed I'll Fly Away. He recalled that he was picking cotton and singing a popular song, If I Had the Wings of an Angel. Suddenly, he thought about flying away. He later said, actually, I was dreaming of flying away from that cotton field when I wrote I'll Fly Away.
Fly away
In the morning,
when I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away.
Well, I am a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my day.
Many believe the song Man of Constant Sorrow was written by Dick Burnett, a blind fiddler and songwriter from Kentucky. Burnett is said to have composed the song around 1913, which tells the story of a man who has lived a life full of hardship and regret, expressing feelings of sorrow, loss, and a desire for release. The Stanley Brothers recorded their version of the song in 1928, making it popular in bluegrass and Appalachian music until the 2000 film Oh Brother, Where Art Thou catapulted it into mainstream popularity.
Well, 4 or 6 long years I've been in trouble, but no pleasure.
Well, the 9-pound hammer is a little too heavy. Money for my son.
The song 9-Pound Hammer is a work song that originated from African-American laborers in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The song is about a protagonist who decides to quit the chain gang and defy his captain's authority. The song was originally called Take This Hammer and took many forms it was handed down. The version of the song commonly heard in bluegrass circles is from a 1927 recording by Al Hopkins and his Bucklebusters.
People would come from far away to dance all night till the break of day. When they called her hollering, do-si-do, you knew Uncle Pen was ready to go.
Bill Monroe wrote the song in 1950 about his uncle James Pendleton Vandiver, Uncle Pen, who was born shortly after the American Civil War. Bill's parents were both dead by the time he was 16, and Bill spent some of his early life with Uncle Pen, who, though crippled, made money playing fiddle at local dances and social events around Rosine, Kentucky. Sometimes, Bill would accompany him on either guitar or mandolin and memorializes his fond memories of those times and the traditional music Vandiver played.
That's where fiddling began. Hey, me down about sundown, high on the hill in the mother town. Ladies, little Lolly, how it rang, you can hear it talk, you can hear it sing.
And we had to get work in clubs, which meant we had to entertain California audiences who had never seen anything like us in their lives. And one of the things that enabled us to do that, this is something Rodney and I did. We thought, why don't we make up a song about moonshine whiskey? Back home, you don't do that. They've got plenty of that. California people, however, moonshine was a romantic thing. like you drink out of a martini glass, all clear and everything. They didn't think about them getting so drunk you'd have to hang out of the grass to lean against the ground, which is more where moonshine's at. Rodney and I knew an old man that made moonshine whiskey, and he made up the tune, and I wrote the words for this, and we changed the name to protect the guilty because he might get arrested back home if he had a song in his own honor. He was the only person in Salem that had never gone to jail for making moonshine whiskey. Half of the other people had. I even had a time or two. This old man had never gone to jail. He was very careful, and people respected him. It wasn't they didn't know he was making moonshine. Of course, everybody knew. He'd back his truck up to the only store in town every Saturday and load 500-pound sacks of sugar in the back of it. And they knew he wasn't making fudge up there. So Rodney and I, the more we got going with this story, the more we added to it. Till after the years, we told everything about the whole family, everything they did.
Dooley was a good old man who lived below the mill. Dooley had 2 daughters and a 40-gallon still. One gal watched the boiler, the other watched the spout. Mama corked the bottles when old Dooley fetched them out. Dooley slipping up a holler, Dooley trying to make a dollar. Dooley, give me a swaller and a payback someday.
Like a fox, like a fox, like a fox on the run.
Fox on the Run was written in 1968 by Tony Hazard, who imagined a scene of a woman walking through a wheat field towards a river on a hot summer day, with the fox representing a man being pursued by a woman who has tempted him, essentially creating a metaphor for a romantic encounter that left him feeling trapped and needing to run away. Bill Monroe claimed that his motivation in penning Blue Moon of Kentucky came during drives back and forth from tours of Florida. Bill said, "I always thought about Kentucky, and I wanted to write a song about the moon we could always see over it. The best way to do this was to bring a girl into the song, so I wrote it in the car on the way home from one of those Florida trips."
Your love that said goodbye, Blue Moon of Kentucky, keep on shining. Wish that I was on a rocky top down in the Tennessee hills. Ain't no smoggy smoke on Rocky Top, ain't no telephone bill.
Written by Felice and Boudleaux Bryant in 1967, Rocky Top is a song about a longing for a simpler life in the Tennessee hills. Written in 10 minutes in a hotel room in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Rocky Top, referenced in the lyrics, is believed to be a nearby mountain summit. The song quickly gained popularity and eventually became one of Tennessee's official state songs in 1982.
Rocky Top, Tennessee.